Alright, starting lesson 3.4, slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines and constructing equations. Alright, here we have two parallel lines here, and it's asking us to find the slope of these lines. So to find the slope, I need to find two lattice points. There's 1 and 2. Alright, so I'm going to go down 3, or I could go up 3. I'm going to go down 3, so it's a negative 3. And right 2. So it's going to be negative 3 over 2. And for the other one, let's see here. I got this point and this point. I'm going to go down 3 and right 2. All right, so question 1. What do you notice about the slopes of the parallel lines? They are equal. All right, slopes for parallel lines are equal. All right, how about for the perpendicular lines to the right here? Let's see, we have got this one. We'll go down 3 and right 2. Negative 3 over 2. How about for the other one? All right, here I'm going to go down 2. I'm going to go left 3. All right, so this one is negative 2 over negative 3, which is 2/3. All right, so the question is, what do you notice? Oh, man. What do you notice about the slopes of the perpendicular lines, J and K? Okay, well, they are, just look at the fraction itself right now. All right, they're flipped essentially, and whenever you're flipping in mathematics, we call that reciprocal. And look at the signs. One's negative, one's positive. So you could say they are opposite reciprocals. That's one way of describing them. And it says, what is the result when multiplying the slopes of the perpendicular lines? Okay, if we multiply these slopes, what do we get? Here I have negative 3/2, and then I have 2/3. If I multiply them, what happens? All right, these cancel out, so I'm left with negative 1. All right, and that's actually one of the properties for perpendicular lines. Their slopes, when you multiply them, you get negative 1. So let's complete the properties below here. Slopes of parallel lines. If two lines are parallel, then their slopes are, keyword is equal. And slopes of perpendicular lines. If two lines are perpendicular, then their slopes are opposite reciprocals. All right, and here's the symbol for perpendicular. And once again, if you multiply the slopes of perpendicular lines, the result is negative 1. That can help you sometimes if you're trying to figure out the slope of one of the perpendicular lines. All right, let's apply these principles now. Here it says strategy for constructing an equation. You could read through that yourself. And one important detail, the y-intercept of the equation is given is not used for anything when constructing an equation. All right, so for example 1, it says write an equation of a line that passes through the point negative 2, 6 and is parallel to the line formed by the equation y equals negative x plus 3. Okay, so here I have this equation. What is its slope? That's the key question you want to ask yourself in order to solve this problem. Its slope is negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to construct the line or the equation for the other line that's parallel to this one. So we're going to have negative 1 for it because the slopes of parallel lines are what? They are equal. All right, now I have to figure out the b. And the first mistake a lot of students make is that they use the same b. Okay, and you're not going to do that. All right, when you're talking about parallel lines, you're only using the same slope, not the same y-intercept. Don't do that. All right, this is why you were given the point here. This is your x and y value that you're going to plug into your equation to solve for b. So you have 6 is equal to negative 1 times negative 2 plus b. So I have 6 is equal to 2 plus b. Subtract 2. All right, and b is equal to 4. Now I take this and I plug it in, and that completes my equation. Done. Let's do it for another problem. Write an equation of the line that passes through the point 2, -1 and is parallel to the line formed by the equation y equals half x plus 3. All right, once again, parallel. So I'm going to use the same slope. All right, now to figure out b, I use my point. This is x and y. So I have -1 is equal to half x, x is 2, plus b. These cancel out. I'm left with -1 is equal to 1 plus b, subtract 1, and I get -2 is equal to b. So I'm going to take my b value and plug it in. Y is equal to half x minus 2. Completed the equation. Done. All right, so we worked with parallel lines. Now we have perpendicular. And there's a little more work involved, but not that much more. All right, so it's the same deal as before. Y is equal to. But now I have to come up with a different slope because the lines are perpendicular. So what do I do with this slope here? I flip it. And I change the sign. I make it negative. All right, so here I have -2/1x plus b. All right, now solving for b, I use my point here, x and y. So I have y, which is 3. I have -2/1 times x, which is 0, plus b. So I have 3 is equal to b. I'm going to take that and plug it in. So I have y is equal to -2x plus 3. Done. All right, for part B, write an equation of the line that passes through the point -4, 2 and is perpendicular to the line formed by the equation y equals -4x minus 3. Okay, so you have -4. That's the same thing as 4/1. All right, so I'm going to flip it. 1/4. It's negative right now, and I need to make it positive. So that's the correct slope. So I have y is equal to 1/4 x plus b. All right, so I have x, y here. I'm going to plug in those values. I have 2 is equal to 1/4 times -4 plus b. All right, so I end up with -1 here. I have 2 is equal to -1 plus b. Then I'm going to add 1, and b is equal to 3. Take the b and plug it in. So I end up with y is equal to 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, that's all there is to it. For parallel lines, the slopes are equal. For perpendicular lines, the slopes are opposite reciprocals. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask. Begin the assignment.